Welcome to the Boys in Gold podcast. This is Ricky.
I'm Jordan.
And I'm Jesse.
What do you guys think about the game today?
Boring.
Yeah. Fell asleep halfway
Snooze
through.
fest.
Yeah, I mean, that was not as exciting as that home opener.
Yeah.
Oh,
Yeah,
we looked fantastic last week. This was just a very boring game for both sides, I think.
Yeah, the level was different.
Yeah, and I don't know if it was just the fact that it was just an away game or that we were missing a couple key players in that first half because, Mukhtar was out, Leal was out. But, it definitely was a different atmosphere.
Yeah. Yeah, I could see we were kind of pressing with our wings a little bit, but there wasn't really much, there was no follow-up. You could see Schaffelberg going in. Nobody else was going.
See, I thought Bunbury was pressing a lot, which is interesting because that's not really something you'd expect of him. And honestly, I think he pressed too much because a lot of times I was saying he was really out of position because he ended up on the wings a lot.
Yeah. I could see that he was going for a little bit, but there was no, it was always, there was no follow-up. It was just one person go and there was no, last week we saw, either Fafa throwing into Schaffelberg or whatever, vice versa or whatever, but there was no, it was just one person attacking and everybody else just staying back kind of thing.
Yeah, that very much felt like the case in this one as well because there was at least 2 or 3 times where I said to you that Schaffelberg got into a very dangerous spot on the wing, but he had no one to cross to in the middle because no one was going forward with him. He was they just expected pretty much what was happening the whole game, where you'd boot it forward, and the other team would intercept and just head it back to midfield, because that was happening both ways the entire game. And so anytime we got any kind of what looked like a dangerous attack, just nobody was forward because nobody expected it to actually happen.
Yeah, honestly, it looked almost like one of my old high school games of just let's just play the long ball and hope something happens, and they would kind of go up for it, but there would be no follow through with it.
Yeah, and then naturally Schaffelberg was gassed by the halftime. He was taken out.
I hope that was the case, at least, because he got taken out at halftime. I still don't agree with that. We lost a lot. We didn't have a ton of creative force the whole game, but what little bit we did, we lost at halftime because he was subbed off.
He was creating a lot.
Now, granted, he was subbed for Mukhtar, obviously our best player, but I would say Wheel was the better choice to sub off, but at the same time, he was the only one that had a shot on goal for us.
Yeah.
So I don't want to really say that was the better option because clearly it probably wasn't.
Well, outside of Dax that had that one shot, which, that was the closest that we got to an actual legal goal and everything.
Yeah.
But Dax's first half that was a little rough.
That was a nightmare. I like Dax. He's.
Maybe he just needs to bounce back. It was his first game of the season that he played. Maybe he just needs to kind of get back into that rhythm. Who knows? But, I do agree with you, Jordan, about, disagreeing with taking Schaffelberg off. We've seen him play a whole 90 minutes, and the boy can run. So, not entirely sure what the idea was there with taking him off, but, yeah. I agree with Anunga coming on for Dax.
Yeah, we need it.
Yeah, even though they both got yellow cards within 5 minutes.
We joked about the drinking game, how long it was going to take, but it only took about 5 minutes.
5 minutes, yellow card for Anunga.
Yeah, but then this ref was so yellow card happy for us, but not calling anything against New York.
Yeah, 4 yellow cards for us.
To be fair, I don't think they committed a lot of fouls, but I don't think half of the fouls we committed were worthy of a yellow. That was yellows that were given. I think Dax's was soft, and I think Zimmerman's was soft.
Zimmerman's was practically non-existent.
That was nothing.
I agree with Anunga's and Washington. I assume Washington was the 4th one.
Yeah, Washington.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure his was the 4th, and that was pretty egregious. His was definitely deserved.
Yeah, but I agree with both of those, but McCarty's and Zimmerman's were very soft, especially McCarty. Well, especially Zimmerman's because just there was nothing there, but especially McCarty's because it was 2 minutes into the game. It's very rare you see a ref give a yellow that early.
Yeah, and especially for him because he's gonna be the one being more aggressive in the middle. I mean, I guess it doesn't matter for the ref, but just in general, they know that they're gonna get a yellow pretty much most of the games.
Yeah, like I know that Dax had a kind of a good reputation of like getting those like what they call like tactical yellows and everything, but like that wasn't a moment for that, and I don't think that was what he was intending to do. And this ref was just like so inconsistent. Like the ref I think spent more time trying to point out whenever we had a throw in, he spent more time saying like, no, the spot is right here to either back up or go forward rather than just playing the game.
Yeah. All right, so we'll start, I guess, talking about just the events during the game. So about 10 minutes in, there was I think it was a defensive touch got to the ball. There was a Red Bulls cross into the box. Not a cross, a ground pass into the box. I believe one of our defenders got a foot on it, and it went wide out straight. I believe it was their left back. I called him Prince Charming at some point because of his blonde hair.
Oh, Tolkien?
Yeah, Tolkien.
Yes.
I think that was his name. Yeah, it went to him. He had I think their best shot of the game right there 10 minutes in.
And Joe said no.
Yeah, it wasn't a very good shot, but it was straight at Joe. He did his job. He kept it out, thankfully.
Yeah.
If I'm pretty sure that Joe was the man of the match just because of all the saves. He had 2 very, very much direct hits or shots, and he said no. Yeah.
I will say he did have that pretty bad touch in the first half, and that was a little rough. But I mean,
he sent it out, yeah.
Yeah, but the guy flopped, and you know,
yeah. No, if he had stayed up, I think he could have centered that, and they would have had an easy open goal. So thankfully, he decided to go down. But
other than that, I mean, Joe is on point. I just like our passing was not on point at all.
Yeah, that's the difference too. It was night and day. Last week we were right on it. You said it earlier. We were very technical. We were very precise. This week we were just kind of doing 1, 2, 3 passes maybe, and then the other one is gonna be out. You knew it was gonna be for them.
Yeah. What was the final stats? They had like 240 passes. We had like 170, something like that.
And last game it looked like we had so much more control that I was surprised at the fact that we had less possession. But then at the end of this game, it was like, wow, we only had that much possession. Like I felt like we had less.
Oh yeah, we got outplayed in every single stat. Yeah, except for yellow cards.
We got more than those.
Yeah. We had 40% of possession during the halftime, like until the halftime, and like just in overall at the end. It was a pretty even game when it comes to like just possession in general and tries and everything, but it seemed like we could do more. I feel like we were playing a little bit more conservative. We're away, all that, but still.
We did nothing. I feels like.
Yeah.
Nothing offensively. We had like one shot on target, if that.
Yeah, and that was
an offside goal.
Yeah.
Yeah,
do they count that?
No, that wouldn't count
wouldn't count
because it's pulled back for offside. So no, anything that happens after that wouldn't count.
Yeah, I think the closest one was McCarty's. I don't know if that was
I
considered.
would say so.
But that wasn't on target.
No.
So there was another one, and we probably missed it.
Yeah, but I mean, we also got pretty lucky because they had a few that were just like their passes were god awful, and it was just like to nobody. But like they were in like the attacking end, and like had those connected, they would have been dangerous for them. And so we kind of looked out on that.
Oh yeah, there was one point. It was number 13. I don't know his name, but it was number 13 for them. He received a cross pretty much right at the top of the box, and thankfully he had one of the worst touches I've ever seen in my life.
Oh man!
He sent it wide, so that gave our defense time to regroup and get back into position to cover the attack. But I think that was their best attack, other than that one save from Joe right at the beginning. Was was that crossed in the box to 13, and luckily
Yeah.
just really bad touch.
Well,
yeah,
It was an unexciting game for both teams.
Yeah,
Nobody really did anything.
There's one other that I remember. It was first half, and a guy was at like the top of the box, and he tried to pass it in between Zimmerman and Mayer. And there was a guy, like, he was there. He was open. Like, he was, like, Zimmerman's back was to him, and Mayer wasn't really paying attention to him. And the pass was off target, but had it been on target, he would have been one-on-one with Joe, and that would have probably been a sure goal for them. And so, I mean, we lucked out on that. So I don't know if we were just kind of falling apart or what.
Yeah, our defense looked good, but at times it looked like just kind of, I don't know what it was. It was just weird. Sometimes it was like they were on it, and sometimes they just kind of slipped. They slipped past them because Joe did a lot of good saves, but he had to because our defense let him go.
Yeah, I think Mayer had a couple slip ups today, especially there was one cross in that he had beat his man to, and so he was like body blocking him off of the ball, but he headed it to no one. It went like 5 feet in front of him. So it's just, that was a really bad touch on his part. But I don't want to say Zimmerman had a bad game. Neither one of them really did. It was just that they weren't challenged a lot, so they didn't need to do a lot, but the little bit they had to do, there was a couple of slip-ups that just, I think, were avoidable. Yeah,
Zimmerman had two very obvious slip-ups. The one where he was letting the ball bounce and it just bounced farther away. The other guy
he got real lucky right there that the guy, I think, not overcorrected, but just expected the ball to do something different than it did.
Yeah,
and that's just like, that's so unlike Zimmerman. Like, he's always like, if the ball's near him, he goes up for it, and like most of the time he wins it. And so I don't know if it was just like hesitation or what, but I mean, I don't know. He'll adjust.
Yeah, that's another thing. They won the aerial duels. I don't know what the metrics was on that, but I'm pretty sure they got most of them. I don't think that their guys are taller than ours or anything like that. I just feel like we were booting it and just hoping for the best over there.
Yeah, no, our set pieces looked unorganized.
Yeah.
It didn't look like there was any plan at all. That was just booted into the middle and hope Zimmerman or Mayer or someone tall gets their head to it.
Yeah.
And just, it never happened because there was no plan at all.
Yeah, there might have been, I think I remember seeing two chances. Like, one was towards the end of the game to where crossed by Tete, and it beat the keeper, and I think it was Shaq on the very end, and he couldn't get a head on it, but I mean, it beat the keeper, and like it was a close opportunity, but we just couldn't capitalize on it.
Yeah, so one of the main notes I had is a complaint I had for this performance compared to last week, which obviously last week kind of felt like a standout performance for us. I don't want to say it was because it's just because it's a new season, and so I'm just forgetting how we play, but we were a lot more offensive last week than we've ever been, I think. And so seeing us revert back this week to just the kind of anytime the ball comes near you, just boot it upfield and hope it lands on a Nashville shirt, that was very annoying to see, because last week the passes felt a lot more calculated, and it felt more like they were doing what happened was what they meant to do. Whereas this week it was just boot it up, hope for the best.
Yeah, they were just they were not sharp. The difference though, last week we had less possession than this week, but we were more accurate. Like, that's the difference there. We were more accurate last week than this week. We had the ball more this week, but we couldn't do anything.
Yeah, I think that's where we really miss Leal, I think.
Yeah.
In the midfield role.
Yeah, like I remember last week that basically ball would get kicked up, and we'd have that kind of like layoff pass, and like the person would like go forward and try to do like a 1-2 go, and it was so clean and it was quick and it was accurate, and like that's what really made us dangerous in those areas. And this was just like a booted up, like if we were even near it, then we'd go up for like a header and maybe try to flick it on, but like nothing like we were doing last week.
Yeah, I wonder if Red Bulls were playing a little bit back because they were not the usual, press. Press
Yeah, I
as
was gonna
much.
say usually they're a high energy team typically.
High.
That's why people call it energy drink soccer because their name and plus just how high energy they are.
Well, they beat us in the preseason, and they were saying I think Davis was talking about it and seeing how fresh it was in their minds, how much energy they had. It was kind of weird. They were just not pressing, and I think that we were preparing for that, so we were kind of pressing more. So maybe we prevented them a little bit. I'm not sure how that would, how that went, but
yeah, I thought Bunbury was pressing a lot, like maybe even too much at some point. So I think I've already mentioned this about how he was pressing so hard it felt like he was playing the entire width of the field. And there was multiple times he ended up on the left wing where Schaffelberg was supposed to be, and so Schaffelberg kind of had to cut inside to kind of correct for his positioning.
Yeah.
Because like there was multiple times he ended up on the wing.
The Red Bulls were pressing some because when that goal by Muil that was offsides, that was very, very close, by the way. But
wasn't that close, unfortunately.
It was pretty far.
It was. Yeah. It looked closer because of the angle. I was just kind of being like, But they were already in half of the field. Like they were all over here, so they were pressing at times, but it didn't seem like they did that all the time. I don't know. It's kind of a weird.
Yeah, it just. I feel like I've said it like 3 or 4 times already. It was just an uneventful game. Just neither side felt like they wanted it. Like especially when we subbed in, who was it at the end?
Washington.
Yeah, Washington. When Washington came
CJ.
in for Pico, when we subbed in a defender for one of our quick, pacey forwards, that was obvious. Gary just wants a draw.
Well, technically,
he wants to just not lose, which I understand. But after our performance last week, we know we're capable of getting forward and scoring on the counterattack. And so subbing out one of your quicker forwards in the last 10 minutes of the game, which he may have been gassed because he's been playing the full 90, but subbing out one of your quicker forwards when there's still a chance to get a result out of the game, I feel like wasn't the best call.
Well, Washington is still fast.
Yes, but he's a defender.
He is, but I mean, he went up there. He was probably playing Fafa Pico's position almost. He was so far up because he was in front of Lovitz.
Yeah, that's what I was saying. That was because I was asking where Lovitz is playing now.
Yeah.
Because that's when Washington was coming in. I assumed that's who he was coming in for. Because I said I didn't feel like that was a good call because Lovitz was having a pretty good game. And so I guess I know he's a wing player, not specifically a defender. Typically, he's more of a defensive. Yeah. When he is subbed in, he plays more of a defensive role.
He is defensive, but still he went up there and crossed it.
I was gonna say, but because of that caused Lovitz to stay back more towards the end of the game, which took away some of our attacking prowess. Because while Lovitz is a defender, there was one game, I don't remember if it was last year or year before, Lovitz could have had a hat trick. He was in so many just attacking dangerous positions that he could have had a hat trick. Just every single one was either saved or he screwed up the shot or something.
Yeah.
And so if that was the case, then that Washington was subbed in to cover the more forward parts of the left wing, that really took away some of our attacking prowess at the end. And that was very clear to me that Gary just was okay with just not losing the game, which 1 point is better than 0, but I think we had a chance the entire time to get 3 points out of it, and that sub just removed that chance.
Yeah, I will say that toward the end, it did seem like that we were more in their half, and I don't know. I think I would have liked maybe Zubac or Hawkinson
Yeah.
coming on instead of Tete. And I love Tete, but I mean, to kind of have that last second push of just like, let's just get these 3 points. You know, like we're on the road. We've already got one win under our belt. I mean, granted, it was only first game of the season, but I mean, come on, let's go for it. Let's like have some cojones and just risk it for the biscuit.
Yeah,
We looked dangerous.
I definitely would have preferred Hawkinson over Washington as a sub there.
Well,
if Pico was the one coming out. Yeah.
At the end, it is true that we did look dangerous at times. Like we were up there, but I think that it was more about keeping the hold up play rather than actually going for it a little bit. We were playing very like we were up there, but we were like ready for the defense, coming back.
I don't even know if I'd say we looked dangerous. I don't think at any point other than Will's
I guess we could have been.
Will's shot that was pulled back for offside. I think that was the only time we looked real dangerous the whole game. Every single one of our set pieces was just like pushed under the rug. It was no problem for them to throw it to get rid of it. No problem.
Yeah, and like whenever we had like maybe like a second chance ball, we just like weren't going for it. We'd have like a missed touch, or like at the end, Lovitz had that whiff, and it looked like he could have had like a great little kind of rip on goal at the very end, but I mean, he whiffed it, and like we had to hustle back and try to recover.
What else?
I ran out.
I mean, it's just like it wasn't. There's not that much to talk about with this game. I mean, there were, it's just like not that eventful.
One of the notes that I wrote down was uneventful first half. NSC, no shots on goal.
No shots.
Like, it was no shots on goal to Red Bull's one shot on goal for the first half.
Yeah.
That's how this game went.
Yeah, like if we had no shots on the goal, but like if we were just being like outplayed and we were like stuck on defense, then it's just like, okay, that might be something. But like the fact that Red Bull only had one shot on goal, it's just like it's a snooze fest.
Yeah. And I mean, for the second half, all I really have is Wheel's goal that got pulled back in the 69th minute. Clearly offside, unfortunately. And then there was another save that Willis made in around the 75th minute. I'll be honest, I don't fully remember what happened. I have it written down as Joe save, Zimmerman mistake. Y'all remember what that was? Zimmerman.
I don't know. I might have been pretty deep in my s'mores cheesecake by that time. What about the no call or even no look on Zimmerman in the box?
Yeah, I have that marked down as well. In the 78th minute, Zimmerman got what it looked like he got hit, like clattered, tripped in some way.
There were two guys, and then one of them had their leg across his, and he went down. Now, I don't know how easy that was.
Yeah, maybe
it looked.
Maybe it's bias, but it really looked like a foul to me in the box.
And they didn't even really show that many angles. Like in the first half, it was like 3 minutes after Dax got his yellow card. There was his instance in the box, and like
situation,
they spent so much time and like showed so many replays on that one. And when it came to the other one with Zimmerman, it's just like, they showed it once and then like nothing.
Yeah, they just kind of brushed it under the rug.
Moved on. They did check it, and so that tells me that it was either not as obvious as it seemed to them, I guess, but it's still something that they should have looked at a little bit more. VAR looked at it, so I don't know.
Yeah, they looked at the McCarty thing a lot more than they looked at that one.
That's true.
And again, maybe it's biased because the McCarty one would have ended up as a penalty for Red Bull, and the Zimmerman would have ended up a penalty for us. Yeah. But I feel like they looked at the McCarty one a lot more than they looked at the Zimmerman one, even though the McCarty one, to me, was more obviously not a foul compared to the Zimmerman one. Like, maybe the Zimmerman one wasn't a foul, but I don't think they looked at it enough to get a clear answer. As much as they did for the McCarty one, at least.
Yeah. Any final thoughts?
going into final thoughts already? I mean, I guess, yeah.
I mean, I don't.
We're only 26 minutes in.
I know we're only 26 minutes
I mean, yeah,
in, but I mean, we already ran through everything.
I kind of knew this one was going to be shorter than last week just because just nothing happened this game.
Yeah.
Unfortunately. I mean, like, thankfully we went to a watch party, so that added a little bit of excitement to it.
Yeah, I mean,
just, like,
honestly,
kind of the
had it just been the three of us at church, man, like, I probably would have started like playing ping pong or something like that.
Yeah.
I mean, it was just not that exciting. I mean, at least, you know, with there were like 3-4 other people at our table, just like that we could talk to and kind of hang out with. But I mean, it was just not exciting to watch.
Yeah, we want to thank the Hendersonville supporters for letting us come in and hang out over here. What was it called? Double
Dogs.
Yeah, we're at Double
Yeah.
Dogs in Gallatin.
Pretty good.
Yeah, cool place. They got some pretty good wings.
Yeah.
Oh, and their s'mores cheesecake. Shout out to that. It was delicious.
Yeah. Not sponsored, but would be nice.
Hashtag not sponsored. But yeah, I mean, I always love watching NSC. I mean, even with their most boring games, I'll cheer them on. It was great. But after last week's performance, this was just kind of a letdown.
Yeah, I was expecting more. Even though it's an away game and everybody says in the MLS you want to tie when you're away and then you win when you're at home and all that. But still, the way that you started the season, you kind of bring up that expectations a little bit more. Not just to park the bus like that.
Oh, yeah, we set the bar high last week. And I remember talking to Scott last week and just like, yeah, we're going to do 3-0 because like Joe was on it and I was like, he's going to have a great game. I figured maybe Hani would start and I didn't think about Leal being out. I didn't know if he got injured last game or what. But like I thought we were going to take that momentum and just ride it and just have a great game. And that it was not what happened.
Yeah, I think we really missed Leal and Godoy today, and I don't know. Even the half that Mukhtar played, I don't feel like he did a whole lot.
Yeah.
He made a big immediate impact when he subbed in last week for the last 15 minutes, but he played a full half today, and just I don't know. We just couldn't get anything going. I don't want to keep putting everything on Schaffelberg because I don't think I feel like I'm giving him too much praise sometimes, but at the same time, he's one of our better players, it feels like, because even last week with Hani's short 15-minute stint on the field, like Schaffelberg was the one that finished that run that Mukhtar got.
And because he was up there when Hani was up there, which
Yeah.
was the opposite of this game. Schaffelberg was up there. Nobody's up there with
He
him.
had zero help. There were multiple times that Schaffelberg got into a dangerous position on the wing, and just nobody rushed into the box to be there for a cross. And that's something that Schaffelberg does whenever his teammates are running forward. Mukhtar got forward last week. Schaffelberg was right there by his side, ready for the pass. And just it feels like nobody else on the team wants to play that role. And so that's a big reason that I think taking Schaffelberg off at halftime was a mistake. Hopefully it was a stamina issue. Maybe he was just more tired than we realized because just how much work he has to do for everybody else, like to cover for everybody else. But yeah, hopefully that's all it was, and it wasn't just Gary making a big mistake, just taking him off at half.
Yeah.
We'll say, nice to see CJ on the field.
Yeah.
Very nice.
So
I thought he looked good. His short appearance.
yeah,
today.
he had a couple touches where it's like, okay, CJ, I see you.
Yeah, really nice touches.
Yeah, he didn't look anything special going forward, but the couple touches he had, I thought looked pretty good.
Yeah, one thing, like when CJ came on, like one thing that I do admire about Zimmerman, like as a captain, like he like actively like talks and like kind of gives direction to players that come on. And like as soon as CJ came on, like Zimmerman went right up to him and just like, hey, you know, like let's start doing this kind of thing. I don't know what he was saying, but
Yeah,
the fact that he's like he takes his captain status seriously.
they were talking right away.
Yeah.
But yeah, but All I really have for notes after the potential penalty on Zimmerman and of course his BS yellow card is that we were just fully outplayed in every stat except for yellow cards. They had more possession, they had more shots on goal, more passes, more higher pass accuracy. So we got outplayed, and so I don't want to say we got lucky to get a point out of this game because they didn't look dangerous going forward any more than we did, and so I think a 0-0 draw, 1 point for each, is a fair result.
Yeah. Had Mouil's goal stood and everything, they would have been like, well, the better team didn't win this game.
Well, that's the thing. I don't think there was a better team.
I think we were pretty much the same. I do want to bring up that the shots that both teams took, they took 6, we took 5. So it's not like we were very dangerous, but they weren't either. So we did keep them.
Yeah, when I say outplayed, I don't mean they did like 2 or 3 times our stats. Right. I just mean they had a higher number than us. That could be 6-5, whatever. But in every stat, they had a better look than us. And so if you look at the stats, it looks like they were the better team. But I really don't think there was a better team today. I don't think anyone really stood out.
Yeah, our corners did look a little. I don't know, kind of weird. It seemed like we would go in and then nobody would be in the middle where the ball would go after. You know, like if you get it outside of the box or just a little bit outside, a little bit to the side, you would think that they would bring it into the middle. There was nobody in the middle, and it would just go out to, I think, Davis or somebody and try to bring it back in. We had 5 corners. They had 3, and we didn't really do too much with them.
Yeah,
not many dangerous.
We didn't do anything with our set pieces. Even when Mukhtar came on, the free kicks we had just weren't in a dangerous position that he could go for goal. I feel like that would have been our best chance at a goal, is if we just played to maybe draw fouls at the top of the box to give Mukhtar a chance to take a free kick. I think that would have been our best chance, but we just weren't.
We didn't have Godoy to draw the foul.
I was say we weren't keeping possession enough to get it to the top of their box to take fouls there, because anytime we had the ball, we had it in the back or we were sending it up the wing and then immediately losing possession.
Right.
And like I noticed, like on our corners, where like we would try to hit it near post and get like a flick on, and then get like a third touch to get it into the net. And I noticed that we did that last year as well. But like
that's kind of our typical corner play, it seems like.
Yeah.
Zimmerman, or not always Zimmerman, but usually someone's there to get the flick on to somebody.
They did cover Zimmerman pretty well. Zimmerman and when CJ was there too, when it came to corners, so they were on them.
Man, I guess that's really all there is that we can say about this game, because just nothing happened.
This has nothing to do like with the statistics of the game or anything, but oh my God, New York jerseys were god awful.
Oh yeah.
I mean, what'd you say, Jordan? They look like
I thought we were playing Club America for half the game.
Yeah, I mean that color scheme is just horrible, and it's just
that washed out yellow and the red and blue. It felt like we were playing Club America again, like we did last season in the Leagues Cup showcase.
At least Club Americas has a little bit more color, that yellow. But this one is just like washed. I don't know who came up with that.
That's a weird just color scheme to me, because I thought, Red Bull, they're usually the white top, red shorts.
Yeah, they look clean. Now it look kind of like
I don't know what they're going for this time around, but
maybe they're the white jerseys. They just started to take up smoking, so they got that little yellow tinge to it.
The yellow tinge. Yeah, that's what that's the yellowish that it looks like.
Well, hey, it gave us an excuse to wear our black kits again, so that's fine. Yeah. Whatever.
I do like the black kits. They look good. I'm excited for Montreal next week. Another game at home. I think it's going to be exciting. Hopefully we can kind of take this game, put it behind us, and just kind of like show up like we did last week. And that'd be nice.
Yeah, I'm excited.
Yeah, hopefully it's just a change of scenery, so we play differently. Hopefully, when we're back at home, we can pick up where we were last week with the 2-0 performance, and just even though we lost on possession, what we did with the possession was really what won us the game. Whereas with this week, there was nothing.
Yeah.
Well, hey, another clean sheet.
Yeah, clean sheet for Joe.
Still got zero goals conceded all season, on par for a 0 goals conceded all season.
Yeah. Undefeated.
0 goals conceded all season, on par, on track for a fantastic season. So
Yeah.
Absolutely.
All right, well,
yeah, I mean, 2 games in, no losses, can't fully complain, I guess, other than that was just a boring game to watch.
Yeah. You guys think Godoy might be back next week, or Leal?
yeah, it seemed like Godoy is still pretty hurt with the shoulder, but it didn't seem like it was anything else. So I feel like they were taking it very
Just a
cautious.
precaution.
And the same with Mukhtar, because he started the second half.
Yeah,
so.
he still didn't get a full 90, but he played more than he did last week. He got a full half under this week.
Yeah. So I guess last week we got a good taste of how it would be, with with all of our starting guys except for Mukhtar, and then maybe next week we'll get a full range of everybody starting.
Full strength.
Yeah, full
starting
strength.
lineup. Yeah. Hopefully whatever caused Leal to miss this week is nothing too big, because he didn't even show up on the health report, did he?
No.
Not that I saw.
No,
No.
it was just Godoy and
Dupuy.
Dupuy, yeah.
Dupuy.
Depew, whatever his name is, I don't know.
The French guy?
Yeah.
The defender we signed to replace Romney.
Yeah.
Well, for depth for Romney's departure. But,
R.I.P. Romney. We miss you.
yeah.
Hey, we've been doing all right with the throw-ins. They're not as far in, but they're good.
Yeah, if we actually connect on the flick on, they're about as far as Romney's.
Yeah. There you go.
Well, we will see you guys next week.
Yeah, we got a home game against Montreal, so.
Yeah, it's at 7:30 next Saturday.
Oh, God, it's a late one.
Yeah, it's a late
Oh, no.
game.
So, final thought. Did you guys notice that every home game except for maybe 1 or 2 this season is at 7:30 at night? And I felt like we had so much more variety last season.
Yeah.
Yeah, I know they were trying to regulate it with the Apple TV schedule.
Yeah,
this
all
year.
of them at the
They're
same time.
They're trying to do more weekend games over, where we had a couple of Wednesday
True,
games
yeah.
last week.
I'm sure the viewership is a lot better in the weekend.
Oh yeah, I'm sure, but and especially people showing up for the game itself, actually being in the stadium. But
Yeah, but I got places to be Sunday morning
yeah,
early.
I work Sunday mornings,
Yeah.
so
Yeah.
So I'm gonna be tired.
yeah, it's an annoying. At least it's not as bad as we had a couple of 8:30 kickoffs because we were in the West last season. But
I'm so
Oh,
glad
yeah.
that we're back.
And then we had what was that during the Open Cup against Atlanta that had that huge rain delay. Hopefully that does not happen this year.
No.
that wasn't Open Cup because I was at the Open Cup game. I missed the rain delay game.
Yeah.
Yeah. But
Alright.
either way, that was an hour and 45-minute delay.
Yeah.
Yeah. All right. Well, thank you very much for listening. We'll, let us know if you have any questions or any thoughts. We'll try to keep posting this every week.
Yeah, currently we're only available on YouTube and Spotify. I am working on getting us available on Apple and Google Podcasts and pretty much anywhere. Basically what you always hear from podcasts, anywhere podcasts are available.
Yeah.
I'm working on that. It's just a whole process. Currently we are just available on YouTube and Spotify though.
Yeah, don't forget to like and subscribe.
All right. Thank you. See ya.
Later.